Unidentified power spikes in the early 22nd century pose a threat to the stability of human society. Major Roy McBride is told that the Lima project, a space station orbiting Neptune that was launched 29 years ago in an effort to hunt for intelligent life, is the cause of the surges. Clifford McBride, Roy's father, oversaw the project. Roy consents to visit Mars in an attempt to find out if the station's occupants are still alive. Roy and Pruitt are ambushed by a group of scavenger pirates on their way to the Spacecom outpost on the far side of the moon, but they are able to repel them. Then Pruitt informs him that the Lima project station will have to be demolished if he is unable to provide evidence that the crew survived. Roy boards the Spacecom cruiser Cepheus and is granted passage to Mars. When Roy orders Tanner, the captain of Cepheus, to disregard a distress call coming from a biomedical research station, Tanner responds that they must look into it per protocol. A rogue laboratory monkey attacks the two men as soon as they enter the station. Tanner dies from mauling before Roy suffocates the baboon in an airlock to end its life. As the Cepheus makes its way toward Mars, another surge occurs. With poise, Roy takes over and gently docks the ship. Roy starts recording voice messages and sending them to the Lima project after securing himself in the subterranean Spacecom complex, hoping Clifford will reply. Finally, after many tries, Spacecom gets a response. Nevertheless, Roy is not allowed to go with the search party. Helen Lantis, the facility director, pays Roy a visit and discloses that her parents were part of the Lima project crew. She plays him a video that exposes how Clifford's team turned on itself and tried to return to Earth. As a result, he turned off their life support. Her parents were among the dead. She also acknowledges that the search party is just a formality to keep the Cepheus silent, since he has secret orders to use a nuclear weapon to destroy the Lima project. They agree that Roy ought to face Clifford, and Landis tells him to sneak away on the party rocket as it takes off. As the rocket lifts off, Roy boards it and is discovered instantly by the crew, who are accidentally murdered in the encounter. A lonesome Roy muses about his relationships with his father and his divorced wife, Eve, throughout the 79-day voyage to Neptune. When he eventually gets to the station, he installs the nuclear weapon and meets Clifford, the only other Lima project survivor. Clifford reveals that the ship's broken antimatter power source, caused during the mutiny, is the source of the surges. In addition, he tells Roy that he doesn't think of Earth as his home and has never truly cared about his family. Roy convinces Clifford to return with him to Earth after copying information acquired by the Lima project crew. They climb out on the outer hull of the station and head back to the Cepheus as he arms the explosives. Suddenly Clifford uses the thrusters on his spacesuit to send them hurtling into space. Roy unwillingly untethers his father so he can pass away among the stars, as the elderly man begs him to do so. Roy then watches his father float into space. Using his own spacesuit, he returns to the Cepheus. Roy uses the shock wave from the bomb explosion that destroys the antimatter in the station to drive the Cepheus back towards Mars so he can warn Lantis after learning that the ship was purposefully left without enough fuel to return home. Although the information taken from the Lima project base points to humans as the only intelligent life in the galaxy, it also includes a wealth of knowledge about planetary systems, exoplanets, and other Milky Way objects that may be useful for future research and human colonization projects. Roy meets his divorced wife again after returning to Earth with a renewed sense of hope.